So Russell Simmons' ex-wife and his daughters have been putting a lot of their family business out there. They say he's been an exemplary dad for most of their lives, but he's been spazzing out as of late. Now, I want to deal with that real quick. Kimora Lee Simmons remarried a guy, Timothy Leissner, and he is, I don't know if they're still married now, but he was involved in a $4 billion fraud situation with Goldman Sachs, where he was ordered to pay back $44 million in restitution, 3.3 million shares of Celsius energy drink. And what is so ironic is that Kimora Lee Simmons and Russell Simmons had a lot of shares together jointly in this Celsius company. New Horizons Investment Group was the company that they owned together, in which they had Celsius stock. Now, Celsius, if you don't know, is an energy drink company that is worth about $11 billion as far as their net worth. And Russell is claiming that in this whole process, about $250 million worth of stock was stolen from him. Russell is saying that his stock started coming up short when this guy Leissner started going through his fraud case, where they ordered him to pay back $44 million in restitution and give back 3.3 million shares of that stock back. This is when the guy was dealing with this, and Russell was like, my shares are coming up short. Which is right for Russell to be suspicious, because this guy has access to those funds because he's married to Kimora and he's known for fraud. And so he attempted to sue. He lost the lawsuit because the judge ruled, I said, yes, since Kimora's part owner, she can do whatever she wishes with those funds. And it still leads us back to the question of, why would you have a joint account with something like this with your ex-wife? Very bad decision, and it's biting Russell in the butt right now. But as you know from that decision, he is livid right now because he is allegedly down 250 M's because his ex-wife and her husband allegedly stole money from him. And now the kids are even weighing in, taking the side of the mother, or, no, don't call my mother names. How are you not going to call her names? She took 250 M's from you. Let's get into some of the stuff that they've been saying. So it started when Ming Lee Simmons posted a picture of her and her mother, Kimora Lee Simmons, doing a fashion show for Baby Fat, ironically. And then she says, Happy Father's Day to her mother, right? Wow. The disrespect is real. Something that provided money for you and your family all the years due to your father, a business that he created. And then you put Happy Father's Day to your mother on it. Okay, let's move on. So Russell responded by posting this picture. Stop telling fathers they should have fought harder to see their children, and start asking mothers why he had to fight it all. And then he put another picture. The father you have is the perfect father for the evolution of your soul and the lessons that you needed to learn in this lifetime. And listen, whether you're a mother or a father, it's a point to what he just said. Like, we often praise single mothers without thinking about it, without even taking into account that there are a lot of single mothers that are bad mothers, right? But we don't even account for that. We just, just since she was a single mother, she should be praised, right? But you never think about this side of it, why so many fathers had to fight so hard to see their children. But anyway, moving on, this is what Kimora Lee Simmons had to say in response. I'm so sorry to have to do this, but this man has been threatening my kids' lives. I'm hearing so much more. We won't be bullied, threatened, or afraid. Who give a F? And listen, show me proof that he threatened your kids' lives. I'm not saying that he hollered at your kids, right? Because there's a difference between hollering at your kids and threatening your kids' lives. And they screenshotted him like yelling, going off or whatever. Yeah, and like I say, after losing allegedly 250 M's, you're going to be mad, but they didn't put the audio to it. But, it just, I don't like when people jump to this narrative. This is a Karen move right here. So now let's get into some of the video that Kimora Lee Simmons and our daughter Aoki made about Russ.
I'm just asking that you please leave us alone. I've tried to go to lawyers and get help. I've tried to show all the crazy texts I've had to block. Like, you do crazy shit, like send flowers to yourself and take a picture and post it on the gram and tell everybody I sent you flowers. Again, I have receipts of all of this. I have receipts from your office saying that you sent flowers to yourself without my permission. I have all of this. You guys have never seen it because it just doesn't warrant, it doesn't rise to that occasion. I mind my own business. But please don't attack my children. They've been through so much. Don't attack my family, which is supposed to be your family too. Don't do that because you're at rock bottom. I don't know hypothetically you're at rock bottom. You've hit the bottom. I don't know. You're grasping at straws. I don't know if this is a money grab. I don't really know what this is. I think it's probably all of the above. I have to say I think and allegedly and all these things just so I can be, right in saying like my feelings and how I feel, what I think.
Yeah, he probably is broken at rock bottom if you and your jailbird husband then stole 250 million from him. If that's what happened, and then let's not even forget, over the years he has paid 5.5 million, almost $6 million in child support to these kids. Not to mention the 8 years that y'all was together, how much he did for y'all then. He showed a picture of y'all in the fat farm. You know what I'm saying? So now that he's broke, partially because of your doing, allegedly, now you want to cry and do all of this. And I ain't saying they don't go through nothing dealing with Russ, because Russ will be doing yoga 1 minute and flying off the handle the next, cussing everybody out. So you know that, but I'm just saying don't ride with him when everything is good, and then now that everything is sour, now that you've been taking a lot from him, now allegedly you want to cry and say he's off. I can't stand when they get on camera and start crying like this, man. It really just bugs me. And that leads me to the next clip that we about to get to. His daughter.
Because I don't like to have trouble for my dad. I have defended him every which way about stuff that I don't even know about. I was like 15, not knowing what sexual was, and I'm still defending my dad. Like, my dad's a good person. I've been a good daughter my whole life. And so you're not going to say that I'm ungrateful or awful. This man is awful to me. He has done awful things to me. And I'm just so tired of it. And everyone just says, everyone loves your dad. Everyone you work with loves your dad. No one's gonna back you up. No one's gonna have you model for them because they all love your dad. And he's a terrible person. So if I never get any jobs ever again, then fine, I will go be a lawyer in the entertainment industry because I shouldn't have to lie or be bullied by a child. I have made so much out, and we all say, please stop, I don't want drama, I love my family, I'm sure we'll all work it out, it's gonna be okay, and I don't post anything because I want to have a peaceful family, but this is abusive at this point.
All this privileged snotting and crying for no reason,
And I really feel like my career is over, and it's fine, it's just... And he threatened me with that too, so maybe my career is over. You know what? I used to work at a refugee camp. I'll do that again. I'll be a doctor. I don't give a and I can never get a job in entertainment again, but you cannot just abuse your kids behind closed doors and not take accountability. Maybe I'll regret this when I'm older and I wanted to be a model and now I can't be. I don't know, but you don't get to do this. You don't get to do this. I'm sorry, and something tells me deep down that I'm not gonna regret this. You don't do that. It's wrong.
So while doing that, she also posted some text messages, and the text messages obviously read that he is saying that your mother stole money from me. I'm giving y'all a summary of everything going down.
Shout out to Yam Stacy for the clips and Lovely T for the Instagram quotes. Listen, man, all this crying and snotting at the nose, she still never said what was happening that was so abusive. Her mother claimed that her kids' lives was being threatened earlier. Where is that proof? So you just on the internet crying and snotting at the nose about potentially losing a profession that was granted to you mostly because of the name of your father in the first place. That's math. You gained those relationships and jobs because of your father. So now if you're dragging your father, you're probably going to lose those jobs and relationships. And whole time you still haven't told us what this abuse is about. What? Because he's aggressively texting you? When you could block him, but he's texting you about, you try losing 250 M's and see how you feel about it, especially when your children side with the person that allegedly stole it.
I did also want to come on here and say that between a lot of people who are close to him and who have experienced how he has, just lashed out at anyone he can and completely changed the person that he is, a lot of us feel like maybe something's wrong, like mentally, I don't know. He's older, I don't know. But
You see how the Karen is kick in right here, crying, it's not nothing. Now she's saying he's mentally ill and mentally off right now. But was he mentally ill back in the day when he was screaming at people over Fat Farm and over the record label and all of that? Because he did that back in the day when people wronged him or were on the wrong side of a business deal or whatever. But now that is your mother has allegedly taken some money from him and he's going at her like that and you catching a few strays because you're agreeing with her. Well, now he's mental, right? He wasn't mental when the money was good back in the day, though. Just saying.
He has completely changed. I will come on here and talk about whatever I want because it's my life and I'm the one suffering. So, he has completely changed. The couple texts I just had, those are only the beginning. I'm gonna go through them if he's gonna, I don't want to post a ton. But if he tries to say that, like, it's not happening, I have screen recordings, I have voice memos of things that it doesn't sound like a human being. He's, like, shrieking and yelling, and, I mean, he sounds, like, possessed. So, I will say, I'm not even sure if it's, like, to his credit, but the best explanation I have is something mental going on, because I used to be very close to my dad. He used to be a good co-parent, close with my mom, my stepdad. He was his godfather to my little brothers. We all went on vacation together every year, like, very close, well after the divorce.
You heard her say it herself. He's been an exemplary father all her life, way past the divorce and everything. It's only now in these past, like, 5 years that things have gotten weird, but she doesn't acknowledge why they got weird. You know why? She'd rather say he's mental than to acknowledge that her mother and her jailbird husband then pickpocketed her father. It's just easier to take the side of the person who allegedly got this money.
Everyone was really happy. When he had business ventures, my mom would invest in them, like...
She invests what? Some of that $6 million child support money?
Good friends. He'd come stay with us, like, we'd come stay there. We'd, like, all the time, everyone together. And then really, he suddenly just decided that, like, if we don't agree, it's, oh, you're all like your mother, I hate you, all are the same.
Listen, Russ, I would just say, remember that they are your daughters and that they aren't your ex-wife. I know the lines can get blurred with something big like this, but listen, I'm going to just say, if this is the definition of abuse to this daughter, I'm going to just say, if you side with somebody that stole $250 million from me, allegedly, then that name is probably going to be an easy fit for anybody who is agreeing with that.
I mean, he's just a different person. Like, he has, like, looked me in the eye, and I've been like, I need help. I was in Greece doing the camp, and I was like, you cut off my debit card. I only got, like, couple $100 a month as a minor. And I was like, I'm in a foreign country, and my debit card won't work. I can't even add money to it. Can you help me? And he was just like, no, I sure hope that you don't die on the streets of Thessaloniki. And I was like, no, like, I'm really stranded out here. I need help. And he's like, well, maybe you should ask your mother not to sue me. And I'm like, you're suing her. And he's like, well, maybe when you decide you're gonna, like, be reasonable, I'll help you. And I'm like, this is unsafe. It's nighttime. What? You cut me off out of nowhere. And he did it, like, on purpose. He was like, oh, enjoy camp. I put, like, you're good to go. I put money on your card. And then he cut it off when I landed. So I'd be stranded. My mom helped me. It was fine. Worst things have happened. I'm just saying, he'll, like, look me in the eye and be like, well, maybe when you decide to, like, threatening me.
So this is the abuse that she's speaking of. Listen, it wasn't like you was about to die somewhere in the back alley somewhere. It went like this. You called your dad. Oh, my card is off. Oh, yeah. Get it from your mama. Get some of all that money I done already paid her from her since you want to take her side and this, that, and other. Y'all want to sue me and all of this. And it was very simple. You hung up the phone. You called your mom. And your mom sent you some money. Right? But he don't get no credit for all the money he's paid into you before. It's just, oh, now that I cut you off because your mom is suing me, now it's a big deal and I left you somewhere to die. Okay, abused, privileged child.
So I felt that was important to include because if we do continue to get into it and some of the things that I post are going to look crazy, and I agree, they're crazy. And it would honestly make me feel better if something was severely wrong because this is just not the father that I know. Or the father that I've had. You know, like, to this day, I would never let a man talk any kind of way to me because my dad was always good to me. And then he just completely changed. So, I just want to include that it could be that, and I don't know his mental situation, but like he used to do kind of crazy stuff, and then say he had COVID, so we'd all call him, or if we'd say, hey, I need some space because all you do is tell me how awful I am and how I have my mom's awful genetics. So, hey, look, I'm in school, and can you not harass me when I'm in school? He wasn't paying for school, by the way. Can you not harass me?
So yet still another jab she's throwing. Oh, he didn't pay for school. He didn't pay for school 5-10 times over however many years he'd been paying child support. Not to mention the 8 years that he was married to your mother, that he paid for a lot of things and poured into y'all lives then. You know, a lot of times fathers don't get credit for that type of stuff. But listen, Russ is not perfect. But what I'm saying is a lot of times when the child goes with the mother, it tends to be a narrative spun. And the narrative was all good until this new husband of your mother's came into the picture and some money came up missing out of Russ's pocket. And then now that he starts spazzing out and you're taking your mother's side, now all of a sudden y'all want to paint him to be this bipolar, crazy man who curses a lot, when we all knew Russ to be a cursor way before today. Now you want to say he's crazy because allegedly he's been picked clean and he's broke, and now you're mad that he's sending you angry texts because you're siding with the mother and this new husband like this. That's ridiculous, man. Whatever your reasons to want to paint him in this manner, it's not necessary. It's not necessary, especially when you admit that everything was all good just a week ago or however many years ago. You know what I'm saying? This your boy P Cam. Let me know what y'all think, what y'all don't think about this whole debacle. The main thing I could take away from this is why is this all on social media? This should not be here for us to consume and talk about and break down. But y'all publicized it and want to cry and snot all over the internet, so I guess we're going to talk about it. This is your boy P Cam. Let me know what you think, what you don't think. Get at your boy.